Are we ready?
All right, ready.
No bras required. The podcast where two girlfriends talk about everything from diapers to death and do it all braless and brutally honest.
I'm Megan. I'm a mom of four, lifelong educator, dance studio owner, coffee and wine snob, and never afraid to speak my mind.
And I'm Patty, mom of three, teacher turned leader, dance boss, loud laughter, tequila enthusiast, and professionally unfiltered.
Together, we've got over 30 years in education, 7 kids, 2 studios, countless bottles of wine and tequila, and a whole lot of stories to share with you.
What's No Bras Required all about? It's a space for women like us who are juggling life, entrepreneurship, parenting, work, marriage, friendship, grief, joy, chaos, and just need some real talk.
So, whether you're sipping wine in leggings, hiding in your car, or rage cleaning your kitchen, we're here for you. Hey, Patty.
Hey, Megan. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Living the dream.
Same. It's
Always, always.
warm here, Patty. I've been to the pool, working on, I feel like myself again. My summer colors coming back. Oh,
Oh,
just love it.
well, it's warm here today too, but we have had a blizzard the last couple. We went from rain to snow to Alberta was like feeling a little perimenopausal and decided to do all the seasons at once.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I would I would cry if it
You
snowed.
would.
I
You really
would.
would.
Yeah,
I
I
know.
would. Yep, I was done. I was really mad. It was like 50 degrees on Friday at carpool. I mean, and that's morning carpool. So, which I know for you sounds wonderful. But for me, it was really cold and I needed a jacket. And that made me mad because I shouldn't need a jacket at this point in the year. It's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like seriously, when I woke up and saw my car covered in snow and it had been like plus 17 the day before, I was like, WTF.
Right?
Yeah.
Get it together, weather. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we are into the almost the summer and we are so close. Um, but today we are going
Yes.
to take on a topic.
Yeah.
We're going we're calling this episode Bodies, Ballet Buns, and the Baggage We Carry.
And body image across generations, raising kids in a world obsessed with appearance while unpacking our own body image history as women, moms, dancers, and business owners.
So I know. We promise we'll make it honest, as always,
Yes.
and funny, maybe a little emotional, relatable, and hopefully healing
Yeah.
with some humor
Perfect.
energy.
I like it. All right. That's right. Bras are coming off, the opinions are on, and we're diving into something every woman has dealt with at some point, which is your body image.
And not just our body image, but our kids' too. Because somehow we survived the low rise jeans era, apple bottom jeans and the boots with the
Boots with the
fur,
fur.
right?
Yep.
Um, and now we're trying to raise confident children in the age of TikTok filters and Sephora skincare routines for fourth graders, which I can't even.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And since both of us come from the dance world, like, woo, we've seen the good, the bad, and the why are we why are we weighing children before recital season side of dance culture? And like, first of all, thank God they got rid of the scales,
Yes.
but it's been in our lifetime.
Yeah, no, I had huge fear of the scale. Um, so we're talking about how dance can either build confidence or quietly destroy it, depending on how adults handle it.
Yeah. And we'll talk about how our own body image has changed over the years, because honestly, at this point, we just want pants with stretch and a thyroid that cooperates.
Soft pants.
Soft pants. Amen.
I know. So grab your coffee, your emotional support water bottle, or your emergency chocolate stash.
And welcome to No Bras Required.
All right, so let's get into it. So the first time we realized bodies were apparently a problem.
Ooh.
When do you remember that?
Well, for me, I grew up thin. I was thin, I was bendy, I was flexible. I probably like had the ideal growing up, but I had a friend, one of my best friends was on the heavier side. And so it was watching her struggle and hearing other girls in the dressing room talking about wanting to wear half tops. And I'm like, but what about, and they're like, well, we just like, it can't always be about her. It needs to be about us too. And I remember thinking, yeah, but if we're all wearing half tops and she's heavier, like you're doing that because you want people to look at you, but people aren't going to look at you. They're going to be looking at her,
Mm,
right? Like,
mm,
and
yeah.
is that like, we have to be fair. Like, save your half top for your solo. Like, I did, it wasn't a big deal to me. Um, so I don't know. I feel like I've always kind of seen both sides of it. When it became an issue for me was when I was pregnant and teaching. And that damn belly got in the way of everything.
It wouldn't move. I mean, there was like kid in
No.
there not getting out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And now there's no kid in there. My belly's in the way.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this
I mean,
is, but I mean, you're in front of like a 4x8 mirror
all day long, every day.
in the studio. And I remember the kids standing in the cracks, like,
Mhm.
ooh, this makes me like look thinner. Or, when they start to go through puberty and their sex organs are developing and they get upset about the tight pinch. Why are my tights doing this? And like, I take pride in the fact that I stop them. And I'm like, listen, do you want to be able to have the choice of being a mom one day? You don't have to decide today, but do you want the option of a healthy pregnancy? And they're like, I'm like, then you leave that alone. Those fat deposits are like, that's just what the body does at this stage of your life. You get little fatty deposits around your sex organs, and that's the natural way it's supposed to happen. You're not doing anything right or wrong. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's hard for them to hear and understand that and accept it. What, especially when they're next to the tall, thin, leggy girl who never has that issue.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
remember, I feel like it was probably around middle school that everybody starts comparing,
Yeah.
right? Because it was, well, who got their boobs first?
Not this girl.
No, not this girl. Still waiting for them to
Mine
come.
mine came in the summer of grade 10 and it was great.
Yeah, no, mine did not. Mine did when I had babies and I was breastfeeding, and man, they were great. And then
Yeah.
then they just like shrivel like raisins and sad day. But I think it really was then. It was, who got their boobs first, whose hips spread first, who got their butt first. You kind of watch all of those
Yeah.
things start to happen, and everybody develops in different times and different ways.
Yeah.
And I was always skinny but strong. Like my legs were always just very muscular.
Yeah.
And it was in high school that I think it really started to be something that I was aware of. I didn't have the like stick thin legs like everybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, I could leap, I could do all kinds of things. Jumping was like definitely my strong suit because I had the muscles for it.
Yeah.
But I just remember I wanted that skinny ballet body. I wanted those thin thighs that like just, little sticks.
Yeah.
And the comparison really started to come around. And I remember sitting, I think it had to have been middle school, maybe it was early high school. And it was back when we would wear our tights and then we'd wear boxer shorts over top of them
Oh,
and
yes.
roll them. We're so cool.
Yeah.
And then our little sports bras, and we'd wear that to class.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there in the back of the studio and by the bathrooms. We were like taking a break. I don't know, so maybe another dance was running or something. And One of my friends was like, "Oh, I have all these rolls." Well, I mean, she's skinny as a rail, but was
Yeah.
sitting there. And you know, when you sit, like,
Yeah.
yes, like your skin is going to kind of roll over top of itself.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, like, well, where is it supposed to go? Like, do you not expect to have that? But we grew up in the time period of like the waif thin models. Like that's what you saw on magazine covers and on TV, and everybody was very anorexic looking.
Yeah.
And that was like the ideal body image that you wanted. And then I feel like we got away from that. We had body positivity for a while. And now with GLP-1s and
Yeah.
I don't even know what else people are taking, but you look at like Hollywood and all of these actresses, they are waif thin again. It's like we've gone back into that
Yeah.
age, and it's scary. It's really, really scary because we lived through it. Like we know what damage it did.
Yeah.
And I
Well, in
hate,
our generation too, like I remember when I was like starting to notice that, right? Like puberty on, all of the thin people smoked. Like it
Mhm.
was so common to have people smoking outside the studio. I remember the first meeting I went to after I got my teacher certification, and like one of them was standing at the door, and she's like, and looked me up and down, like, and where do you come from? It's like, whoa, okay. But it was like that was the lifestyle. And the same thing, like it was in Hollywood, all the actors smoked. And it's like, look at how long that took. It's like, how do you smoke and dance? Like,
I don't know, but they all did. I mean, all the models did. And I mean, it's just like what you
yeah.
saw. It was like if
Yeah.
you wanted to be skinny, that's what you did.
Well, I gave it a try for a few years too. And then I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was crazy, like how you just accept that that is the way to do it and the effects that it has on you. And hopefully you're able to make changes when you become smarter or more mature or wise or whatever the word is.
Hmm. Do you
Yeah.
remember like thinking through all the fads of weight loss and, you know, all of the
Oh,
things that went through? Just thinking back. Do you remember when, what was it called? Olestra or whatever that was came out and it was like not, it wasn't fat, but they could put it in things to make things fat free but still taste good. Like it was in our potato. Maybe
oh,
you guys didn't have it in Canada. We like to do weird stuff with food here. But I remember it was in like potato chips and definitely potato chips. Maybe
oh.
some other stuff. I think it was called Olestra, but like it would make your fatty foods that you loved, quote unquote, healthy. But then everybody that ate it had the runs so bad. It was just
So you didn't get skinny because it was healthier. You got skinny because your body basically exploded on itself.
correct. Like you just basically had a colonoscopy prep every time you ate your potato chips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I guess it made it so you couldn't absorb the fat. I don't know. But like I remember that. I remember all the fat-free stuff for a long time. I remember when, you know, Atkins became big and carbs were a
Oh
felony.
yes.
You know, nobody could eat a carb. But we were all loading up on red meat and eggs and
Yeah.
like,
Step aerobics.
oh, step aerobics.
Oh, and Taibo. Really,
Typo, I did that all the time in college.
I actually really like Taibo.
I did too. I kind of felt like a fierce kickboxer, like I could take somebody out with my
Yeah.
Tybo abilities. Totally could not, but you know,
Do you remember when he had to squat and lay down in the card and then come back up and then you get the card and you I remember yelling at him once at the TV, like, slow down. Why do we have to go so fast? I mean, I did it, but yeah, it was yeah. That was fun though. It was
oh.
yeah.
I would like financial compensation though from the inventors of low-rise jeans
Oh,
because that era was very traumatic. Not only was it traumatic, one, as a person, because I don't care who you are, like unless you were basically anorexic, low-rise jeans gave everybody love handles. But
Yeah.
two, I was a beginner teacher at that point in time when those became super popular.
Yeah.
And every year we would have the tornado drill. Do you guys practice tornado drills in
No, I
school?
live in Alberta. No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we have to practice tornado drills every year. And the kids, like, they say it's a drill and they have to
Yeah.
go out in the hallway and they have to, like, curl up on the floor, put your butt in the air and your head down.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many butt cracks and more than that I saw because of these low rise jeans. Like, I am scarred for life
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah.
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 Mm. Okay, so let's do
Yeah.
some fun facts. Not fun facts.
Okay.
They're not actually fun.
Okay.
Probably more scary facts than anything. But studies show that body image concerns can begin as early as age 5 to 6 years old. How scary is that?
That is
These are
horrible.
babies.
Yeah. And research from the National Eating Disorders Association shows that social media comparison is linked to increased anxiety, low self-esteem, and body dissatisfaction in adolescence.
Yeah. About 40 to 60% of elementary school age girls are concerned about their weight or becoming too fat.
And dancers, sadly, are considered a higher risk group for body dissatisfaction and disordered eating because appearance is often tied to performance evaluation.
Mm.
And that's what the really, well, we now have like organizations fighting this that we never had when we grew up. But we also, I don't remember anybody being dressed in a sequin bikini dancing on stage when I grew up.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like we would have half tops, but you had a full pant. And the movement was a lot less sexualized. Like there was no sexualization of children back when I performed. Like that would have been shocking and you would have been shut down.
Yeah.
Now it's becoming more accepted. So the fact that we actually have to have organizations in dance to protect children against this type of coaching, and not because the dance training is, I don't want to use the word bad, but because of the studies of what it shows it does. Dance is supposed to lift kids up and build confidence, not tear them down and make them feel like they're not good enough.
Right. Because dance isn't the problem here. It's the
No.
culture that has been created around it and that has been allowed to happen. And there, sadly, I think I see more and more in the forums, the studio owner forums, the dance teacher forums. I see more and more people speaking up for it,
Yeah.
and speaking out against this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But the problem is parents keep paying for it. And they keep going to those studios and want their kids to do that. And I don't know if it's out of FOMO or just pure stupidity, or they get wrapped up in like keeping up with the Joneses because, well, everybody in my town goes here, so it must be good. And then they just slowly make concessions. Even if it doesn't meet their values, it doesn't align with their values as a family, they're like, oh, but everybody's here. It must be a good studio. They must know what they're doing. They're gonna help my kid. Look, they won all these awards at this competition.
Yes.
And so they just keep justifying all of the bad
Yeah.
because they have this idea of I don't know what. And I mean, I feel like if we could figure out what that is, and as an industry, speak out against it, find that perfect message that's gonna wake people up. But sadly, it doesn't. And I'm scared it's gonna take a huge, huge scandal before
Yeah.
it does. And the predatory
But how many more
nature.
scandals do we need?
I mean, I don't know because I feel like we've had many,
Yeah, we
but
have.
I feel like gymnastics didn't wake up until it was on a national level. of like the predatory business of kids, and now they're really
That's what I'm
working to
about. Yeah.
right to support kids and
I had a conversation with a parent about this. She had called me to find out about the values of my studio because the one that she was at was doing this, and she said things like, my daughter would be ask me not to invite grandma and grandpa to watch this performance because of the costume or because of the movement. And the mom actually called it the stripper costume. She's like, "Show me your stripper costume." And I went, "What?" And she was there was always one every year that just crossed the line. It was always the stripper costume. And I'm like, I said to her, like, I need to understand this. I said, "You're like a highly educated woman. Your husband is highly educated. Why were all these red flags not red flagging for you?" And she goes, "Well, I think they were, but we told our daughter, like, this isn't what our family believes in." And she goes, and all of her friends danced like at the studio. And I'm like, "But you can say our family doesn't believe in this, but your behavior is a language. And it's a stronger language than your words when you don't back it up. If it's not who you are, then you don't do it. Full stop."
full stop.
And so I think we need to, like, as studio owners, empower our dancers, first of all, to speak up and say, "This doesn't feel comfortable or right in my body." We have a job to help them explore and to become uncomfortable. But when it's crossing the line into sexualization, full, you have to let the kids lead the way with what they're comfortable with. And I always have the talk. There's a huge difference between sensuality and your female power and sexuality. If all you're missing is a pole,
Mm.
you've crossed the line.
And it doesn't matter what age. I think that's the
No.
other piece that really frustrates me is it does not matter what age.
Yeah.
Even if they are seniors, it is still not okay. These are still kids. And it is our responsibility to protect them and protect their childhood. And
Yeah.
I mean, I had a conversation with a parent about a costume sizing.
Yeah.
She was talking about, well, this costume's too tight, it's too small. Can we get the next size up? Well, the costume fit fine. The child has some sensory issues.
Yeah.
Was it a little tight right here where I could see like she was probably a little uncomfortable? Yes. But she still had quite a bit of room. And the problem was that if I went up in size, it was gonna be too big.
Yeah.
And we'd had a parent in our winter recital who just threw a huge fit, insisted we get a bigger size. And the armpits of that baby's costume were so low that it
She
obviously
was
didn't fit,
exposed.
right? And she
Yeah.
was exposed. And so I was explaining to that mom, I was like, I can get her a bigger size, maybe, this time of year, not really, but then the armpits are going to be so low, it's going to be too big in the top, and she's going to be exposed in front of 800 people in the audience. And I'm not going to put a child on stage having her private parts exposed.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." I was like, "I understand, but that is my job to inform you that this is what's going to happen." I was like, "So here are our options, right?" And we go through this. But I
Yeah.
think the same thing goes with, I mean, I know we have a huge debate in dance about tights and no tights. It's a huge thing for me. It's a huge
Yeah.
thing. You know, I but when we're talking to kids about, well, this is the only way that you're going to win or you're going to get attention is by showcasing your body and more and more and more of your body, to where you've got kids up there in a bra and panties, rhinestoned and whatever, but it
Yeah.
is a bra and panties. And some of them are so teeny tiny, and they're performing in front of an audience of you don't know who.
Yeah.
It's not like you're at your neighborhood pool or
No.
you're there at the beach and they're just doing their thing. They are performing, and then the movements that they're doing is questionable. It makes me so angry.
Yeah.
What studios are doing to kids, but also what parents are allowing to be done to their children, and then questioning why, as they get older, we have more and more eating disorders, more and more kids with anxiety, more and more kids who are suicidal.
Yeah.
Look at what you've done.
Yeah. Well, when you objectify girls, they believe that they are objects of, and their approval comes from other people's opinions of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do positives and negatives about dance. So
All right.
let's do the negatives first because I feel like we can, and then we'll end with positive. I like ending positive.
Okay. Me too.
Okay.
Um, I think there's always that favoritism of the perfect body type.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just like you talked about, like the super skinny, the ballet body. We know that, right?
Yeah.
Teachers making comments about weight. Absolute. That is a hard no
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
Hard no. You do that at my
Um,
studio, you're fired.
yeah. I think there's unrealistic expectations
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. Skill wise, look wise, everything, right? Comparison culture. It is so
Yes.
hard. I mean, we live in it daily between social media and everything else, but especially when you're in front of
Yeah.
that 4x8 mirror
Yeah. I think
constantly.
there's also like costume sizing trauma too. Like when you get the tall girl and her costume comes in at a large, like an adult large, and the rest of her class is like an adult small or an adult medium, and it's
Yeah.
like you're not like their face when they see that L, and
Letter. Yep.
it's like it's just it is what it is. Like it doesn't mean that you are large. It means this is the size that fits your body. And I really wish we could get like away from seeing it that way. Do you know what I mean?
I
Especially
know.
for these young girls.
Yeah. I mean, you're tall. You have the long girth. Like sometimes you got to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your boobies are going to be hanging out.
Or your rear end. It's going to be one of the two.
It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. So positive sides of dance. The positive things that come from dance, learning discipline and strength.
Yeah. Feeling capable and athletic.
Hmm. Finding community and belonging.
The confidence you get from performing and learning to do new things.
Right. And appreciating what your body can do instead of how it looks. And I wish that would be everybody's tagline,
Yeah.
right? Look at
Yeah.
what your body can do. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I love, what is that guy's name? Um, People would say that he is extremely overweight. He can never be a dancer. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember what his name was, but he is an amazing dancer. He posts on Instagram and
Mhm.
TikTok, and he is not what you would think of as your typical dancer
Yeah.
at all, like nowhere close. But he is beautiful and amazing, and can just leap and turn and
Oh,
just
is it?
dance with his heart.
Well, even like look at Taylor Swift's guy, and I can't remember his name either, but like he has all the key parts and people just adore him.
Yeah.
Do you know who I'm thinking of?
I do. I am so terrible with names.
I am too.
I'm awful. I wish I could that's like a Mike category right there where he knows all the things. Um, oh, his name is Eric. The guy that I'm talking about is, I
Yeah.
think, Eric Kavanagh. Yeah,
Okay.
Eric Kavanagh. So look at him. Can you see it?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Oh my gosh, he's amazing. Like just so beautiful. The things he can do, you would never expect with his body type that he could do it. And he does. And I just wish we saw more varieties of bodies
Yeah.
dancing and dancing well.
Yeah. Well, because all you need is a desire and the persistent nature of never giving up.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about like good teachers and how they can help kids with this. Like to be good teachers, never discuss kids' bodies publicly.
Mm-mm.
It's not, it doesn't come up. If they struggle, if someone's a little bit heavier, they're struggling with a move, it's all body mechanics. This is what you need to do, this is what you need to strengthen, this is what you need to stretch, and it will come. It is correction. It's not judgment.
Right. Well, and I think if more teachers understood body mechanics, then they understood kinesiology and anatomy and taught their kids that,
Ooh,
then they
we're
we're
going there,
going
are we?
we're going there. But I think
Yes.
we've talked about this before, but I think there are a lot of people who have never trained in anything outside of what they've learned in their own studio as a kid.
Correct.
And just because you can doesn't mean you can teach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just because you thought you could doesn't mean you can teach, right? There's so much more to it. And people who really do focus on kinesiology, the anatomy, how things work, how they're supposed to work, it never becomes about weight.
No. No.
Good teachers focus
Yeah.
on strength and artistry.
Yes. Especially the artistry part. Like, because we are athletes, but we are also artists.
Hmm.
And if, like, I feel like studios that only practice a dance all year for the sake of competition are really, this is just my personal opinion, but I feel they're really doing a disservice to their dancers on teaching them how to dance. There's a difference between learning how to dance and learning a dance or a piece of choreography.
Correct.
Do you need to learn pieces of choreography in order to learn how to be a dancer? Yes. Yes, you need to know how to piece them together. You need to know how to transition steps from one to the other. You need to know how to take it through a song and build and like the highs and lows of it all and to emote through a whole piece. But if all you're working on all year long is a piece of choreography for competition, you're not learning to do those jumps on the other side. You're not learning to turn in a variety of different ways. And so, taken out of that context of the dance, what have you learned?
Well, I think also, are you touching people's hearts? Are you telling a story? Are you causing any kind of reaction? Because that's what art is.
Yeah.
Art gets a reaction. So whether your job in that piece is to entertain and make people have fun, or it's to make them feel something, you want to make them cry, whatever, you want to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah. Do you want to make them think?
Right. Like there has to be a purpose to it. And for those that is your structure for your studio. That's what you do. You learn the dance in the summer and they practice that same dance all year long and you take it to 85 competitions and hey, that works for you and that's working for your business model. How are you teaching those kids to keep that piece fresh and not turn their facial expressions and all of it into almost robotic? I see a lot of that become very robotic and it becomes almost like a piece of choreography and you can tell that the heart isn't in it anymore. So what are you doing to keep it fresh? Because that's a huge skill too. Think about like if you worked at Disney or you worked on a cruise line or you worked on Broadway, you're doing the same show and the same choreography 8 times a week.
When's the last time you saw a Broadway performer do a vowel face?
Oh my gosh, never,
Ever.
ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
So much to say and not enough time on that.
oh, I know. Well, kids should leave dance class thinking about what their body's accomplished and
Yeah.
not what they need to change.
Yes. Yes, I totally agree with that. Also, great teachers correct technique without shaming appearance,
Yep,
right? Like you can do both.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, ooh, I think back to some old ballet teachers I had and how quickly those corrections could turn into things that you're then obsessed with later.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't do that to kids.
Yeah. Please.
All right, so let's get into us because I
Okay.
know we could go on and on and on about the dance world. But I know we have people who listen for not just dance stuff. And it's important to talk about as women too, how our body image changed as we got older.
Ooh. Yes. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So for me, like I said before, I grew up skinny, thin, kind of the ideal like for dance. When I had my but I will say this. I was uber flexible, but my hips would always go out of alignment. And it started when I started teaching. So I started teaching at 15. And from 15 to 27, 28, I was probably in my doctor's office, for sure in my 20s, like close to once a week. He would adjust, it wasn't a chiropractor, he was a manipulation therapist, but he would put my hips back in for me. I could teach an advanced jazz class, sit down and watch it to like correct choreography, correct technique, whatever, go to stand up. And I was like recreating the evolution of man. I was a knuckle dragger. I couldn't stand up. The kids would be like, Miss Patty, are you okay? And I had them all trained to go, it's just my rigor mortis. That's what I called it. Then I had my two boys back to back, and they were 17 months apart. Whatever strength I had in my pelvis, they trashed. And then I went into like I was teaching. I had Dylan. I taught up until 2 days before I had him, and I was back at work 2 weeks after. That was nuts. So I'm teaching dance. I have no strength in my pelvis. And now you're in like supreme weightlifting endurance mode because you're carrying this toddler or this baby around with you everywhere. And we don't think about what it does to our bodies. The best thing that I ever, ever, ever did was a Pilates class with Mari Windsor at Dance Teacher Summit. And I had trouble getting down onto that mat because my hips were out. And I skipped out of that room. And I was like, I don't know what the heck just happened. When I get back to Canada, I'm going to look into it. And Deb Vogel was a teacher there. And I went to her seminar. She's phenomenal. Absolutely love everything that she talks about. But I mentioned this to her, and she said to me, if you look into Pilates, she goes, I guarantee you it will change the way you teach. And 100% it did. I fixed what was a 10-year problem in 2 weeks of training, just having a different body awareness. And it has changed how I train my dancers. And they are strong. We have very few injury. Like, but for me, when I felt my best was not when I looked my best.
Hmm.
And so I think it was a huge realization for me as a dance teacher and a dancer that I could feel and move in this body so much better than I did in this one and not have all that pain. And I think the goal should be to learn and understand our bodies the best way that we can because it is what we create our art with, but to look after it and maintain it and grow a sense of curiosity about it. Like if you think about it, you're going to spend your entire life in your body. It is the last thing you will say goodbye to when you leave this earth. How many people don't actually have a relationship with it?
Or don't have a positive relationship with it
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
outside of
Like
childhood. Yeah.
I want to be a servant to my body the way my body has been a servant to me my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah. I I think yeah, motherhood is a huge shift.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I always felt pretty good about my body and where I was, and, had the skinny little waist. And even if I was a little more bottom heavy, it was muscles, right? I understood I was more athletic than I was like ballet thin. And that was okay, especially when I got to college. I was a modern dancer, and that works perfect for you, right? Ideal body for that. And then I had Michaela, and your body just completely changes. And I had her in November, and the studio I was working at, we did a teacher dance every year in the recital. Sometimes it was fun, sometimes it was jazzy, sometimes it was lyrical. This year, because we were doing dancing through time as the theme, which was pretty cool because it was like an homage to all of these very famous dances that have been done throughout the years. This crazy teacher that we had decided that we should do Swan Lake for the teacher dance.
Oh,
I was 6 months postpartum, had not, where you're at that point. Like, it took you 9 months to grow a baby. It takes 9+ months for your body to even get back together. It was, her birth, I would say, was a little on the traumatic side. I'd had a C-section. Things weren't right going back the way they were supposed to.
yeah.
And I had to get in this white leotard and tutu and pink tights and get up on that stage and dance the little swans. The heaviest I'd been non-pregnant, because I just could not get that weight off, and just felt horrible, absolutely horrible. And it wasn't so much of exactly how I looked. I didn't feel comfortable in my body because I couldn't move the same way. Later, 6 months later, I ended up herniating my L4, L5. So obviously stuff was not right.
Right.
And I just kept damaging things. But, I think it's hard when your body doesn't do what it typically does, right? You deal with it after motherhood. You're in church, you're somewhere else, I don't know, and wherever you go publicly, and you see people who've been pregnant and they just bounce back. 2 days later, they don't even look like they had a baby. And here you are, still looking like you're pregnant and you're holding a toddler.
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah. Why will my abdominal muscles not go back? Right? Why can I not get this figured out? You can eat healthy. You can exercise. So sorry. That is Elvis the cat who's playing the piano. Wow.
Elvis is in the building.
Elvis is in the building as he's sitting here yelling at me. Oh my gosh, that was really funny. Yeah, but it's really, really hard. It's hard, and then I feel like after you have kids and you kind of start to adjust, and then the perimenopause hits and your body changes again, and it's like all the things you used to be able to do seem to make it worse. You exercise, it makes it worse. You eat healthy, it gets worse. Nothing works anymore. And we're constantly having to refigure out the body that we're living in. I think that's the hard part for women. And, and if you don't have that mindset like you have of, well, my body feels stronger and healthier than it has ever because I'm doing these things, so it doesn't matter what it looks like on the outside, this is how I feel on the inside. A lot of people struggle.
Yeah.
And they get into the body shaming and the fat talk and the...
Especially just taking it to younger girls, like what we're dealing with in the studio, when they have that growth spurt. Charlie grew 8 inches in 2 summers. Everything that she could do well before changed. And when your body is what you create your art with, when it doesn't work the way it used to work, it is so frustrating. And it's a tough mental game to put yourself through, trying to be like, no, no, this is just for a period of time. Like, I know the mechanics, I know what I need to do, but like, or like I tell the girls when their bumps and curves come in, that like there's some extra weight. Like, what do
Right.
you think? What do you think a boob actually weighs?
Well,
2, 3
mine not a
pounds?
lot, but for some kids it is a
Oh,
lot.
yeah,
And well, in their center of gravity shifts. And
exactly.
so it's hard. It's hard when all of a sudden that center of gravity drops and now you're relearning how to do everything, especially turning. I remember that.
Yes.
I remember when I was like, why can I not even double pirouette? What is wrong with me?
Or
This is
those
so
quick
hard.
changes in direction, like when you're like transferring weight quickly and moving in different directions. It's like you feel like Bambi on ice.
Yeah. Well, and they kind of look like Bambi on ice as well. I call it
Yeah,
their baby giraffe stage. And you
yeah,
can tell as they grow that quickly that, their understanding of where their body is stops usually about mid calf. Like
yeah,
the feet are hanging everywhere.
yes,
They have no concept of where their body is in space. And it's hard. It's really hard to get them
yeah,
through that stage. And then once they settle, then it's like they take off because now they're like, I got this.
yes. I think it's once they realize like it might not be what you're used to, but it is normal,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like it's yeah, it's normal to go through those changes and that they will constantly be there. And you just got to give yourself the grace to figure it out and work it out and allow yourself to make the mistakes so that you can.
Well, and I think that's the most important thing is that we have to break generational cycles.
Yes.
And that is, we have to break it. And it is our job to talk to our kids about what is going to happen, what is natural, why it's okay,
Yeah.
that there is no shame in you being more of an athletic build or you being more of a skinny build. Like every body build
Yeah.
has their strengths and their weaknesses.
Yeah.
And you have to know, all right, I am made this way. These are my genetics, and I cannot control it.
Right?
But here are the things that my body, being made this way, can provide for me. These are my strengths. These are the things that I'm going to be good at where other people aren't
Yeah.
because their bodies aren't made the same way.
Yeah.
You know, if we shifted the conversation to that instead of the number on your clothes, the
Right?
size on the tag,
Yeah.
how do you feel? Are you strong? Are you healthy? And I really hate the stupid, what is it? Your not your body fat percentage, but your BMI. Like
Oh,
it's
I know.
so, and more doctors I think are kind of going away from that, but even having that conversation with kids about where their BMI is, no, no,
Well, every bodybuilder would be obese.
correct.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and we need to model self-respect for ourselves and our learning process instead of the perfection.
Yeah,
Right? Should we get into some facts to share?
absolutely.
Okay.
So, children whose parents frequently criticize their own bodies are more likely to develop body dissatisfaction themselves.
Yeah.
So be careful what you say and be careful how you say it in
Yeah.
front of your
And who
kids.
you're saying it in front of. Yeah.
Yep.
And a positive body image is linked to better mental health, higher self-esteem, and lower rates of depression and eating disorders in adolescence.
Yep. And experts recommend focusing conversations on what bodies do rather than how they look. Exactly what we just said. Patty, we're so
Exactly.
smart. I know. Oh.
So, what are the things we want our kids to remember?
Well, one, bodies change constantly.
Yes.
So, girls, you get like maybe a good 5 years in the body that you have,
Yeah.
and then it's going to change. And then in another 5 years, it's going to change again. it's just part of being human and aging and yeah.
Yeah. And for like health doesn't look one specific way.
Mm-mm. No. Strong is beautiful.
And your confidence matters way more than your size.
Absolutely. And adults need to stop commenting on kids' bodies entirely. Take it
Please.
out of your vocabulary. Don't do it. Get one of those like rubber bands on your wrist. If you think you're going to say something, like snap yourself with it.
And dance studios have a responsibility to protect mental health of those that we teach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Your child's body is not a before picture.
Right?
How many of us do that?
Oh, I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah. And the goal isn't raising kids who think they're beautiful every second of every day. The goal is raising kids who know their worth is not tied to their appearance.
And I can say, now working in a high school, I saw it some in middle school for 20 some odd years. And but in high school it's really where it takes off, and it is so sad the number of kids that I work with that are in home, what we call homebound, like they have to go to facilities and are there for eating disorders. It is shocking. It's
Yeah.
shocking. And it's not even just anorexia, you know. And I think there is a segment of the culture that is scared to talk about these things. Well, we
Yeah.
shouldn't talk about it. We shouldn't talk about disordered eating. We shouldn't talk about anorexia. We shouldn't talk about bulimia. We shouldn't talk about these things because that will encourage kids to do it. Well, y'all, we tried that with sex and that didn't work either. The teen
Yeah.
pregnancy rate went way up when we decided we weren't going to talk about sex. And, so it's a danger to kids. They need to understand what that those thoughts mean. They need to understand what body image is and how we should be promoting body image in a positive way. That what to do when you have a friend who is constantly going to the bathroom after they eat. Do you even know that that's a warning sign? Do you know that, your friend saying, oh, we'll take these diuretics and it'll help? Or a friend who's constantly talking about their weight or how they look or oh, I hate this part on my body. Like those could be warning signs. I feel so strongly that we shouldn't hide things from kids because when we don't talk about it, that's when we set our kids up for failure, for problems later on. Just like we talk to them about the dangers of alcohol and drugs and sex and I don't know what other vices there are. This needs to be a part of the conversation and not just one little unit in your middle school health class.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. We need to talk to them about what good health is. And also, if they're not happy with how they look, it's okay to talk about it and be like, what is your definition of success? How can I help you to get there? What are healthy options to help you get there? If you want to lose some weight, let's do it the right way, but let's make your health the priority in that conversation, not your appearance.
Right. Yeah. It's not about getting to a certain size and it's
No.
not about, looking a certain way. It's not about the thigh gap. You remember that all those years? I don't know. Maybe it's still a thing.
Oh,
And everybody wanted a thigh. I was like, I am never going to have a thigh gap, like ever in my entire life. If I do, I'm something happened. There's probably some plastic surgery involved.
I read a meme once about the thigh gap stopping this lady's phone from falling in the toilet, and she was like, "My thighs are like, nah, girl, you're good. We got you."
That's
There you
it.
go.
See, it's just my body knowing that it needs some protection there.
Yeah, it's all good.
All good. All
Yeah.
good. Oh, too
Uh,
all
yeah.
right.
But while today was like we've touched on some funny things, this probably was one of the most important conversations that we've had.
Yeah, I think so. Because body image isn't just about mirrors or jean sizes. It affects confidence, mental health, relationships, and how our kids learn to see themselves.
Yeah. And if you're a dance teacher, coach, parent, or honestly just an adult around kids, your words matter way more than you think they do,
Absolutely. We may not get it perfect, but we can absolutely do better than what a lot of us grew up with.
right? And also, can we just collectively agree that we're going to stop making women feel guilty for eating bread?
Oh my gosh, please free the carbs. And
Carbs,
maybe some
right?
of the maybe some sugar too, like a little dessert. Like don't make people feel bad because they want a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Cake is good for you.
Well, it's good for your soul.
Makes you happy.
There you go. So thanks for hanging out with us in another episode of No Bras Required.
If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend, a dance mom, a teacher, or honestly anyone still emotionally recovering from dressing room or the dance studio mirrors.
Right.
Because man, those dressing room mirrors and the like when you would go try on clothes in a department store, oh man, they are made from something from the devil.
True that. True that. We'll see you next time on No Bras Required.
Our goal for this podcast is to be that village where we can have those deeper conversations. We can talk about the serious things and walk each other home from diapers to death and all the things that come in between, but also to bring the humor and our crazy squirrel moments and all of our funny stories that we've lived from parenting to entrepreneurship to just being us and the adventures that we come up with. But we want to build a community and be those people to give you some sound advice that, you know, maybe makes you giggle a little bit every once in a while.
So thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, share with your favorite hot mess mom friends, and give us a follow on Instagram at No Bras Required Pod.
Every week, we'll drop a new episode tackling everything from marriage and mom guilt to leadership and loss with humor, heart, and maybe a little tequila or wine. So bring your favorite drink and join us every week.